Hello everyone and welcome to Power Rangers Stories. Here I bring you the untold and what could have been stories. So sit back, relax and get ready to listen to some more phenomenal adventures. Also don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell to get notifications on the latest videos. And may the power protect you. Izuku Yagi, the Green Ranger. Chapter 48, True Evil Never Dies. 20 years later, Izuku now had the perfect life. On the night of Class 3A's graduation party, he proposed to Ochako and she immediately said yes. Not long after that, Ochako became pregnant with twins. And 9 months later, a bouncing baby boy and girl came into the world. The boy's name was Tommy Oliver and the girl's name was Kimberly Oliver. Tommy looked just like his father, but with his mother's hair color. Kimberly looked just like her mother, but with her father's hair color. James and Sasha also got married and had a kid around the same time Izuku and Ochako did. Their daughter's name was Trini Kwan Oliver, named after her late grandmother. Ben and Momo also became a couple shortly after Lord Draken's defeat. They are now also married and have a kid. Kaminari and Jiro also got married and had a child, so did Kirishima and Mina, as well as Tokoyami and Sue, and Ojiro, and Toru, and so did Ida and Mei. Izumi was adopted by the Oliver family after the fight and now goes by Izumi Oliver, and Kimberly was thrilled to have a daughter. Izumi also hooked up with Zero after she recovered from her injury, and now they're married and have a kid. Most of the UA students went back to being normal hero students after the battle, but they still held on to their morphers just in case. As for the original Power Rangers, most of them retired after a decade or so, as well did most of the other Ranger teams. Tommy retired and gave his chain of martial arts dojos to James, while Kimberly retired and gave her chain of gymnastics centers to Ochako. Billy eventually moved on from Trini's death and fell in love with another woman, whom he eventually married. Sasha was overjoyed to have 2 parents again. As for the new team of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, sadly, they don't work together as much anymore, since most of them live in different parts of the country now. Izuku and Ochako still fight alongside Ida a lot, even though he gave up being the Blue Ranger and became Ingenium a few years after Draken's defeat. He gave his Blue Ranger power coin and morpher to his daughter. They also still fight alongside James and Sasha, but not so much with Kirishima and Tokoyami. But how is Izuku doing now? Everything else is perfect. He's the #1 ranked hero and Power Ranger. After Draken's defeat, Izuku revealed to the public that he really was quirkless and explained how the Power Rangers and Morphin Grid worked. There were still many anti-quirkless bigots after that, but Izuku and the other Rangers hunted them down and arrested them before they could do anything violent. Mirio is the #2 pro hero and is a teacher at UA. He and Izuku fight alongside each other many times. Tenko is also in the top 10 pro heroes. The public once hated him, now they love him as the Black Dino Thunder Ranger. He's also a teacher at UA. And now Izuku has a loving family. He has a mom, dad, and brother who took him in, a cool cousin, a redeemed sister, a beautiful wife, and 3 beautiful children. Ochako, with the help of Izuku and the other Rangers, was able to earn more than enough money for her parents so they could live easily. Tom and Kim were both diagnosed as quirkless when they were 4, but that didn't bother them or their family. When they were teenagers, they enrolled in the Ranger program that UA has now. A program that partners UA with SPD, also known as Space Patrol Delta. Tom was now the new green SPD Ranger, while Kim was the new pink SPD Ranger. As for Eri, she's now the new SPD Omega Ranger, since they found a way to link Eri's quirk to her Omega Morpher. Koda and 2 kids Izuku and his class eventually met someone named Katsuma, and Mahoro are also Power Rangers now. Now, Izuku and Ochako were on their way to visit Tommy and Kimberly at their home. When they arrived, they were greeted by the old couple sitting on the front porch. "Well, if it isn't the greatest ranger ever to exist," Tommy said with a smirk. "If it isn't the man who made me that way," Izuku said. Suddenly, an SPD vehicle pulled up to the house. Eri stepped out of it, along with Tom and Kim. All three in SPD uniforms. "Kids," said Izuku and Ochako. "Dad." "Mom," said Eri, Kim, and Tom. "You three are getting so big," Kimberly said. Then Izuku and his family all had dinner together inside the house. "So how's ranger training going, kids?" Ochako asked. "Good. Commander Tate's a great leader. He and Bridge have been helping us become the best rangers possible," said Tom. "Speaking of Bridge, did he go back in time yet to see me and Grandpa?" Izuku asked. "Yep. He told us all about it when he got back," said Kim. James, Sasha, Trini, Tenko, Izumi, Siro, and their child also arrived. "Hey, everyone," Izumi said. Izuku took a moment to reflect on his life as he sat there with his family. He had gone from being hated and beaten by his former family and friends and having no powers at all, to having the greatest family ever and the greatest powers ever. At least that's his story, so far. 1 year later. Izuku, Ochako, James, Kirishima, Ida, Tokoyami, and Sasha all ran through the battlefield in their ranger suits and with their weapons. They fought their way through multiple robots and enemy soldiers while trying not to kill them. They then saw a Megazord battling a giant evil robot. There was an explosion and everything went black. After the battle was over, Izuku held Ochako in his arms, unsure if she was dead or not. "Oh poor Green Ranger," said a familiar voice. Izuku looked up and saw none other than Lord Draken standing there. "You couldn't even save your pathetic wife." "I'm going to enjoy killing you and the rest of your family," Draken said. Izuku pulled out his sword and swung at Draken while screaming in rage. That's it for Chapter 48 of Izuku Yagi, the Green Ranger. That concludes the whole Izuku Yagi, the Green Ranger story. I'll be having more stories soon, including a new Izuku Yagi story. But that will be in the far future. Remember, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, turn on the bell and check the description for more information. As always, may the power protect you and see you for the next adventure.